Hello. Welcome to my kitchen. It's, I could say messy because, you know, I don't dust regularly, and it's kind of how it was when I moved in with my dad, like, you know, but it's orderly and I clean it. I keep it clean, and I haven't done that much cooking lately, actually. See, I love cooking. I've always loved cooking. Not necessarily baking, because that's more of like a science, but cooking where I can just throw things together however I feel like it. It's more like of a feeling kind of thing, and hope it tastes okay. I like to cook for other people. I like to give them the pleasure of the wonderful tastes in their mouth. And after Dad died, because I cooked for him all the time, it's funny though, is like I just haven't had any urges to cook at all. Like, I don't think I've cooked any real like meals like the soup and the stuff I used to cook all the time. I don't even want to eat vegetables and fruits and cut them up. Oh, I just thought of buying them, and this is the first time like I made the green beans and all the things I used to make them, and it was just like, it was hard, okay? But the chicken was buy one get one free again at Publix, so I bought a ton of it. I bought like a lot, 6 huge packs. It was over $100. I think it was like $175, but it was half price, half that. So I'm making barbecue chicken. I'm making stew. I'm gonna make chili. I made this. I just call it chicken beans and rice. And I made last night. I made my dad's favorite, which was the green bean casserole chicken with the fried onions. And what else? Is that all? And then I have plain chicken. Big part is putting the chicken up like it is, just one breast in a little sandwich bag. So then, you know, every like 2 or 3 days when I need it like a protein, I just pull out the chicken, let it thaw for a day, and make it. So today I made the chicken beans and rice. It's a perfect snack for anyone who wants meals made. Even if you don't like leftovers, I know some people like their stuff fresh because they don't like the taste of it being frozen. Oh, by the way, my goal here is to freeze all this food. I'm gonna have so many cooked meals in my freezer. It's just so convenient. I can't tell you guys. But with this, I love these pans. Here I go off subject again. Thank you, Dad. This one I just used, that's why it's dirty. Thank you, Dad, so much. He was the best ever. You know, he actually like cared about people, and he thought about them and did things for them just because he wanted, like with me, he wanted to make them happy, you know? And he did that. Like I said, I cooked all the time, and out of nowhere, one day he was like, you need some new pans. And I don't like spending money, especially on myself, unless it's something that like I need. And I didn't feel that I needed new pans. I mean, the ones I were using were fine, right? This was one of them. And yeah, it's small, and it was hard to cook big things in it and everything. And the frying pan was a Tefal, and I guess it was kind of coming off a little. So he was like, he spent weeks of his own researching pans on like Amazon and just looking at different pans and stuff, non-stick ones. And he spent hundreds of dollars. I think it was like over $300, almost $400 on this cast iron big one. And another set I have, it's like a frying pan. It's like 2 frying pans. It's like a lid and a frying pan. And thank you so much, Dad. That was so nice of you. I love this pan. If you guys don't have a cast iron yet, you need to get one. I cannot tell you. It not only is it the best thing that cooks chicken or meats or any kind of like foods or anything, it kind of fries it without frying it because it cooks so well. And it's the easiest cleanup. I was thinking it'd be worse, but it's way easier than my other pans. I love them. So I just put in here my chicken, my raw chicken, and cooked it on, like, you know, just like put on like 5 or 6 with these cast iron. You want to cook it quickly and at a hot heat because you don't want to overcook it. You want it to be tender. I learned that with chicken. It cooks very fast, and you want it to be like really tender. And then I put seasonings in here. What I like is just I put cut garlic. Now that my dad, he hated like garlic and onion and stuff, so now I can use garlic all the time. I love it. Cut garlic. I use, this is poultry seasoning. This is called poultry seasoning. It's really good in your poultry, believe it or not. And then the salt and garlic and pepper. And I put a little oil, like a little extra olive oil, and I put in water because you want this to be kind of a little stewy. You want it to have a little liquid in the bottom. So when you put it in the bag, you want to put a little bit of liquid in with it to keep it moist and to give it the flavor, so when you put it in the microwave, it tastes like it's fresh made. So then when the chicken was cooked, I had beans that I had already pre-cooked for my stew. See, it was a bigger bag of beans. It might not be enough for the stew, but oh well. So I put beans in there. I like to use garbanzo, anything. Pinto, I think, is in here, and the little black beans. And then I made rice. I like the rice that is like the purple rice or the red rice or the whole grain brown rice. My dad, I mean, you know, white rice, I just feel like it's just more of a waste. Kind of like a regular sweet potato and a regular potato. The difference, you know. And what I'm going to do is, in small bags, I'm just going to put a small portion of rice and probably, I think, like 8 chunks of chicken is a good amount of protein. I usually eat less than that if I'm having beans and other things with it that are protein. So I'm going to put like 6 chunks of chicken with some beans and a little juice in the bag with the rice. And then you just seal it up, really try to get the air out of it, put it in your freezer. And those little bags of rice, chicken, and beans are so handy. Like, you get home late, or you didn't make anything for lunch and you're just starving, and you might not think it sounds appetizing. Trust me, I've been here lots of times. But when I pull it out of the freezer and stick it on just a plate and I microwave it, thaw it, it's so hot and tasty and warm. And if you just put a tiny bit of cheddar on top when you microwave it, oh my goodness, it's so good. So that's the first thing I made. And then I'm making this stew. So like I said, I don't follow recipes or anything. You kind of make, it's kind of like a minestrone or like a vegetable chicken stew. And you know, I just kind of made it up myself. I have this celery juice. It's frozen. It was left over because they said you could freeze it from the last time I made stew. The brand was this, which is cool because it's from Florida here. It's like fresh pressed, not from concentrate. I'm gonna put this some carrot, not all of it. Oh my god. I would turn orange like I thought my dad did. I'm going to put carrot juice. This, just like a tomato, strained tomato, like you don't want to use like spaghetti sauce, and it would taste like spaghetti. I also have like some crushed tomatoes if I need it. I'm just going to put like the same spices I talked about in there for seasoning. You don't want it to be too seasoned. Last time I put a little too much pepper and I didn't quite like it. I have cut up carrots. I don't particularly like cooked carrots, so I cut them up little and hope they just kind of disintegrate more. You know, it's more for the nutrition. Green beans are really good in there. And here I have sauteed mushrooms. You want to always cook your mushrooms if you use them. Don't ever just put them in not sauteed. They'll have no flavor. I have cooked beans. Like I said, you can use any kind of beans. This is a really good sauce. I just put a tiny in there to give it a little bit of like a depth and flavor. But it's so good for like chicken or steaks or anything. These Yoshidas, my mom used this forever. I'm going to cut up sweet potato and put sweet potato and onion and garlic in there. And what else? Is that all I'm putting in? And then I have the chicken, which I put in raw chunks because it cooks, because you're going to simmer it all down really good for, you know, not too long. I mean, like an hour, the chicken will cook. Till the chicken's cooked, basically, really good. Oh, and then I usually can put in, oh yeah, hold on, let me tell you. The grains. See, this is like you could put anything you want in here, basically. Any kind of vegetables or grains or beans, or, you know, you could even use other meats. Just chicken's really the best, I think. Like, I don't suggest red meats aren't the best for you. Like I said, there's a red rice. This is a Ralston. Or there's like a Nature's Blend. Barley. Pearled barley. You just stick some of that. Not a ton. You don't want a ton in here. You just put like a little. Lentils. Lentils are great to put in there. Gotta rinse them first though. The first time I did, I put in too much of the grains and it sucked up the moisture. So I'll probably end up using both pots. What I do is, because you know, once you put a little of everything in, it gets so full and over like much, and then there's not a lot of moisture for all that in there. So like I said, I'll probably just end up making 2 pots full. Just smelling these make me want to throw up. Cooked tender carrots, organic carrots. That's disgusting. I don't like cooked carrots. Ugh. But I made this special treat for my doggies. They're gonna love these. See? Bags of meals. I think I made 8 of them. Yum, yum, yum. I ended up mixing all the things I showed you about that much of the carrot juice, the whole jar of the strained tomatoes. I put in half a can of these crushed tomatoes, and when I separate this, I'm going to put in some of the diced tomatoes into each pot. So I also put in that yolk Cheetahs, a little bit of that. It's like a soy sauce and some actual soy sauce, not much, just, you know, like a few teaspoons or a tablespoon or two, I don't know. I put in the salt and some pepper, and I put in some of the poultry seasoning, and, you know, just the stuff I showed you. I had that celery stuff in there already, and then I filled the rest up with water. You're probably going to be adding more water to it. Right now, before you put anything in there like raw chicken or anything, you can taste it. You want it to have some flavor. It's not going to be fully flavored. You can do that when it's done cooking. But you don't want it to taste like tomato water, basically. So you can put in things right now just till it has some kind of a start of a taste to it. So when the stuff cooks in there and it cooks down and stuff, and then at the end you can taste it again. So I finished cutting up the onion and the other garlic, and I'm sauteing that real quick just to give it the flavor. And then I'm going to split that in half. I'm going to split everything in half into the 2 pans. I'm going to split the juice in half into the 2 pans, and then fill it with chicken, each pan, you know, with a good amount of chicken, and top it back off with water. And then I'm going to cook them. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, the smell of sauteing garlic. Oh, I love it. I split them. Let me turn this on. What is this? Front. Let's do 6 for now. I split the pots and the onion garlic stuff. Now it's funny because they're going to taste different. Even though right now they're the same, the pan makes this one taste and cook differently with the metal and the layers of stuff that's already in the pan compared to that just plain metal pan. And I washed the lentils, and I'm going to split them. I like lentils, so I got quite a few. When you think about half per pot, that's not that much, but I like a lot of lentils. I got my sweet potato cut up, putting all the stuff in. I can't wait. This is my fun part. I love it. The barley says to wash it first, but it's so little. I remember now, last time I tried washing it, it went right through the strainer. I guess I need a smaller strainer. I'm going to think about that one. If you're not used to cooking beans, they take a long time and you need to pre-cook them, so I do that the day before. If you don't want gas, because my dad would get horrible farts and it made him not want to eat beans, and we dealt with it because the beans are really good for you guys. You know, if you're gonna cut out carbs like I did, you can eat the beans because it's just like more of a fiber protein carb. Just beans are good for you. Go ahead and put them in a pan and turn them on, and like kind of pre-soak them, like cook them for a little while, and then let them sit in there for like an hour or so, and you see the water get all dark and beany, and then rinse them, drain that water and rinse them, and then go ahead and do that again. You can either soak them overnight or you can go ahead and cook them. There's the 2 different methods. But the pre-cooking it in that water for a few hours first kind of gets all that stuff out of the beans that makes you have the gas. So if you do it that way, I don't have gas anyways normally. That's just like not a curse, I guess, but like a thing for me. But my dad said it was much improved. Tip of the day. Love it. Oh my gosh, so splashy messy. Look at that already. I just clean up. I like to clean up as I go along, but it gets so messy, doesn't it? Oh well, that's what cooking is, isn't it? A little splash, a little cleanup. A little splash and a little cleanup. Oops, a lot of splash, a little cleanup. This is how I decided to wash the pearled barley. It's really good if you guys don't use it in cooking. It's probably what you know of in like a minestrone. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Soup, that tomato vegetable kind of soup you guys eat. It's really good. That worked well enough. I've just added the chunks of chicken. Chunks of chicken. It was quite a bit actually. As you see, it filled it up all the way. Oh, this is going to be so good. This is nothing but a huge pot of healthiness for you. Look at that. Let me zoom in. I mean, you gotta think of, other than a little bit of oil, This is just all goodness. Carrots, sweet potatoes, and beans, lentil, and barley, and chicken, and tomato, mushrooms, and garlic, and onion. And I can tell you the smell in here is already incredible. It's going to get better and better the more this cooks. It's going to be an hour to an hour and a half. Yeah. But the chicken is not that thick, so. But the potato takes a while, but I cut it small. You should check it every, 15 minutes or 20, I don't know how. You should check it every so often because you don't want the rice and all the, I didn't put that much rice in there, by the way. You don't want any of the grains and stuff at the bottom to get burnt or to get like all stuck together mushy from not stirring it. So you're going to want to stir it up. Make sure you get the bottom corners all around the pan. Scrape it really good and make sure it all not clumped or anything. And then always top it off with water if the water goes down. Except for the last, 20 minutes or so, you don't want to put more water in there. Just the first like half of the cooking when it's going into the grains. You're going to want to keep replenishing the water if it goes down, but not after that. Let's see what it looks like. I put the timer on for 35 minutes. I did stir it once, maybe 10 minutes ago, and I'm about to see what it looks like. It's smelling more done. Like you can definitely smell the barley in there. Kind of has like that tomato and rice soup smell. Soupe. Ooh, looks good. It's I turned it down to 3, both of them actually, and potatoes don't look like they're quite cooked, but the chicken I'm sure is. So we will probably definitely be waiting on the potatoes and the carrots before the chicken. Delicious. I scooped some out and I tried it. It's delicious. It was almost perfect. The carrots and the potatoes are cooked. Altogether, the timer was on for an hour. And it has 15 minutes, which I'm going to let it finish simmering and cooking because it's not going to hurt them. They weren't totally soggy or anything. It was almost perfect tasting. It was just needed a little more salt and a little more of the flavors. Like I put a little more garlic and a little more of that poultry seasoning in there. So this is the time you can taste it and just fix it up if you need to. I'm excited. This is a whole bunch of food. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped you. You have to play around and experiment. The first time I made it, the sauce wasn't the best. You gotta see what you, just remember what you put in there and what you did and adjust accordingly next time when you make it. And play around, have fun. Eat healthy.